the verse effect. It's the verse effect. It's the verse effect. I write the lyrics to change the game. Nothing's ever gonna be the same. It's the verse effect. It's just the verse effect. It's the verse effect. It's the verse effect. It's the verse effect. I write the lyrics to change the game. Nothing's ever gonna be the same.
Welcome back to The Verse Effect, the podcast where we break down the stories, layers, and lyricism behind hip-hop's most influential tracks. Today we're stepping into the raw, unfiltered world of early 90s Queensbridge.
And not just any track. We're talking about one of the crown jewels of East Coast storytelling. This is Nas, Illmatic era. Paint the picture so clear you can smell the project hallways type lyricism.
Before we dive in, a serious disclaimer. This episode contains explicit lyrics, violent themes, and descriptions of environments shaped by poverty, crime, and systemic neglect. We're here to analyze, not glorify, and we encourage listeners to approach this music with context in mind.
Absolutely. Hip-hop reflects real people and real conditions, and N.Y.'s state of mind is one of the sharpest examples of that mirror effect. So let's get into what makes this track not just a classic, but a blueprint for lyrical storytelling.
From internal rhyme chains to street philosophy to that haunting DJ Premier production, Nas crafted a moment that shifted what hip-hop could be. And today we're unpacking the lines, the imagery, and the legacy behind it all.
All right, so let's get started. I never sleep because sleep is the cousin of death. I mean, if you've listened to any real hip-hop heads talk about Nas, this line comes up every single time, right? It's like haunting. Reminds me of when I'd be up late at my dad's shop, neighborhoods buzzing, people talking outside, and you just feel this tension. You can't let your guard down. That's the energy Nas grabs here. In Queensbridge, it's not just poetry, it's real life. Sleep too long, and you might miss something important or something dangerous.
Right, and I think what's really remarkable is how that line works almost on a philosophical level too. Like, look, sleep is restorative for most of us, but when you grow up in a place where the line between safety and danger is razor thin, being comfortable can literally mean you're at risk. Nas is channeling that hypervigilance. There's no true rest, no real peace. It's self-preservation, but it's also exhausting, survival as a state of mind. And honestly, it becomes this refrain for urban life during that crack era. Nobody gets to relax.
Yeah, it's more than a catchy phrase. You hear folks quoting it way outside of hip-hop now, like it's entered everyday language. Business, sports, people always referencing it when they talk about keeping that edge. But Nas isn't talking about hustle culture. He's talking about the paranoia of poverty, man. About growing up where you feel like if you stop moving, something bad's gonna happen. That line just hits different once you really get the context.
And that becomes a kind of trauma response, right? I see it all the time in my counseling practice. When you have to be alert for so long, your body and mind rarely get a break. So lines like this don't just sound cool, they capture a psychological truth. I think that's why people come back to it, and why it stayed so relevant. Let's move on to that Scarface reference. I'm like Scarface sniffing cocaine, holding an M16, see? With the pen, I'm extreme. Now, this is one of those spots where Nas uses something really embedded in hip-hop, the whole Scarface mythos, to draw a line between street power and artistic power. But he flips it. His weapon isn't a gun, it's his pen.
Yeah, see, this is what I love about Nas. He doesn't just copy Scarface's story, he reclaims it. Everybody wanted to be Tony Montana back then. I'm guilty too. Watched that movie way too young. But Nas is saying, I'm dangerous, but not with violence. My pen is the weapon. It's a message that you can have street credibility and still be an intellectual, an artist. And hip-hop at the time really needed that.
Right, and what's striking is how he makes that connection between power and creation. The gun becomes a metaphor for what he can do with words. He's constructing, not just destructing. I think that's so central to his legacy, using his writing almost as a weapon to carve out space for survival and for truth-telling. And like you said, Roderick, that's a theme you see repeated through hip-hop, changing the narrative, but Nas does it with so much nuance.
It's a declaration too, like, y'all think you know danger? Wait till you hear what I can do with this notebook. It's that confidence, but also sort of humility, because he's not glorifying the Scarface lifestyle. He's just showing he understands it. Let's talk about the generational shift Nas points to. It's like the game ain't the same. Got younger niggas pulling the triggers, bringing fame to their name. Man, this verse feels so relevant, even now. He's not sugarcoating it. The street game changed hard in the 90s. Suddenly, it's kids in the mix, not just adults running business. And it ain't just about money anymore, it's about respect, name, clout, before we even had that word.
Exactly, and for Nas to call that out at such a young age is honestly remarkable. It's a sociological observation, not just storytelling. The influx of younger kids, the violent shifts from, let's call it organized crime, to impulsive, attention-seeking acts. Structures that kept some sort of code, those started to break down. I hear almost a sigh in his delivery. He's tired, he's concerned. It's not celebration, it's warning, it's critique.
Yeah, and, coming from Oakland, I saw it too. You wake up and realize the kids getting into beefs weren't just after paper. They wanted recognition. The stakes just kept getting higher for everyone. Nas captures that unease and that sadness at the loss of the old rules. A kind of mourning, really. It's mature, like he's carrying the weight of the whole block on his shoulders.
And what struck me, building off what we talked about in Common's I Used to Love Her, remember how we dug into that sense of loss for an earlier, more conscious era? Nas is doing a similar thing here, but it feels more personal, less abstract. He's watching his world unravel, and there's no distance, just honesty. It's what makes this song a document of a real moment in history. Okay, so this couplet. Beyond the walls of intelligence, life is defined. I think of crime when I'm in a New York state of mind. Oh, I love this because Nas is getting almost existential here. He's saying conventional definitions, school smarts, book knowledge, they don't always prepare you for survival where he's from. Street smarts are intelligence, just in another dialect. The New York state of mind, it's not just a place, it's psychology.
Yeah, Camille, that's the song's whole thesis statement right there. He's not glamorizing crime, he's explaining it. It's cause and effect. If you grow up boxed in by poverty, your definitions of success are going to be different. Sometimes the smartest move is just making it through the day, knowing when to walk or when to stay put. Nas is like giving a master class in urban sociology in 2 bars. Wild, right?
Absolutely. And listen, Nas has always had this ability to make deeply political statements without ever sounding preachy. He's explaining the reality without apology or judgment. Life is defined, outside the walls, outside the textbooks. That nuance is missing from too much of the mainstream conversation about poverty. And here's Nas turning it into poetry people remember forever.
That's what I find so impressive, the subtlety. It's matter of fact, it's honest. It doesn't celebrate crime, but it refuses to shame or simplify it. It's complex. Street philosophy for real life, not just a lesson in a classroom, Let's hit this one. Life is parallel to hell, but I must maintain and be prosperous, though we live dangerous. To me, this is the core of not just the song, but hip-hop itself. It's never just about surviving. It's about maintaining your dignity, your vision, even when everything's falling apart. Maintain. That one word, in our culture, it means you keep your head up, keep moving, keep balanced no matter what. That's profound resilience.
And for so many people, especially in Black and brown communities, that's the daily mantra. Survive, yes, but also seek out prosperity, joy, fulfillment. I think about my students sometimes, the ones who come in carrying so much, and they're still striving, still dreaming. Nas gives voice to that relentless hope, and he does it while looking reality dead in the eye. It's neither despair nor blind optimism, it's both, woven together. That tension is everywhere in the song, and in life, really.
You nailed it. It's the fine line between acknowledging pain and refusing to let it define you. The dangerous is real, but the goal is always more than just survival. It's about finding ways to thrive. That hits for me personally, Growing up around so much struggle, but always having folks around me telling me to dream bigger. I hear that in Nas, too.
And it's so honest. That's maybe what keeps this song from ever feeling cliché, even when people rip off the line for social media captions. Nas lived it, and he finds that balance people are always striving for, realism without resignation. So let's talk legacy. N.Y State of Mind. It's not just a great track, it's one of the greatest ever in any genre. This song set a new bar, not just lyrically, but as social commentary. Nas took hip-hop's power to narrate real life and elevated it, gave people art and unfiltered truth in one package. It's why so much of what we expect from so-called conscious rap today traces right back to this song and this album.
Yeah, this is the moment when people stopped asking if hip-hop could be real literature, because Nas made it undeniable. Lines from this song, they're everywhere now, in everyday talk, in academia, even in politics sometimes. The storytelling on Illmatic, so detailed, you can practically see each scene in your head. And technically, he just pushed the game forward. Those internal rhymes that flow over Premier's beat. East Coast hip-hop needed a jolt, and Nas delivered that and then some.
It also can't be overstated. He recentered New York at a time when the West Coast was running the charts. For young MCs, N.Y State of Mind became a blueprint. Show, don't tell, be vulnerable, be sharp, get detailed. It set the standard for album storytelling. Illmatic as a whole proved you could build a project around coherence, not just singles.
And he did all that without losing any authenticity. Nas was, and is, the ultimate street reporter. He used Scarface and Capone not as cartoon villains, but as literary references, bringing history and pop culture together with that first-person, boots-on-the-ground view. He changed the way we tell stories, period.
And in the process, he made hip-hop something the world had to take seriously. So we'll keep coming back to tracks like this, an artist who paved the way for complexity and honesty in music.
Absolutely, and I don't think we'll ever run out of angles. Every time I listen, I catch something new. All right, Camille, that's a wrap for N.Y State of Mind, but there's so much more to dig into in future episodes.
If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you follow The Verse Effect, leave a rating, and share this episode with someone who loves hip-hop storytelling.
And hit us up with the next song you want us to decode. Until next time, keep your mind open, your bars sharp, and your speaker volume respectful of your neighbors.
Thanks as always for chopping it up with me, Roderick. And to everyone listening, we'll see you next time. Keep your mind sharp and your playlist even sharper. Be well, y'all.
Peace out, everybody. We appreciate you. See you soon.
It's the verse effect, it's the verse effect. I write the lyrics that change the game. Nothing's ever gonna be the same. Nothing's ever gonna be the same. I write the lyrics that change the game. Nothing's ever gonna be the same. Nothing's ever gonna be the same.